Intervention time. Intervention. On my couch, that way, 18 feet, is a piece of paper. On that piece of paper, it says, toss out a box a day. That means, in my house, I have 1 cubic foot of stuff I don't need. Could be different stuff. 1 sock that doesn't have a mate. I'm not planning on losing a limb anytime soon, so that could go away. But occasionally they turn into art supplies. I used a bunch of white socks with holes in them to help me paint pictures at one point. So I saved them. I went through the trouble of going through my cardboard boxes that I used to make my little fish and threw out what I didn't think I needed. Well, on the way to the recycle room, I took back this piece. There's still something in here. There's still a fish. And this piece, this is the same box, so I can combine these two to make a fish. As is this thing, I think. I think these are all the same. So that'll be a fish, or 2. I don't know. Damn it. So I went looking, not only did I take some of the pieces out of the box I was recycling, but I ended up bringing home all sorts of other boxes today to turn into fish, because I can. Okay, just fall on the floor. In addition to that, there were a bunch of these things being thrown out by someone in the building. Now, what can I do with these? And I've got another 24 of them. They go together like this. Isn't that cool? Yeah, I know, you probably have one of these for your offspring. They go together like that. Isn't that neat? Well, I can maybe make art using this somehow. So what I was going to do is show you a box I got. And this is the box. And this is going to be, it's mainly white, and it is going to be turned into a fish. There's blue and white here, and there's blue and white on the back, and right over here. And is there any blue and white here? No. But there's all these perforated lines, which can be part of my fish. I can use it to delineate certain elements. There's these slits. This can be part of the gill slits of a shark. This could be a baby white shark. But I have a new rule, which I may ignore or not, which is I can't make just one fish out of a box. I have to make a school of fish. And part of that is to use up more of the box, less going into a landfill or to be recycled to make newspaper for the fake news folks. But I like the idea of using the same cardboard box to come up with different examples of fishdom. And sitting here earlier were fish made from the same box, but now I've hung them on my wall. Here's 3 fish. These all came from the original box, so the blues match and the whites match, and sometimes the fonts match. So even though they would belong in 2 different families of fish, species of fish, is fish a family? I can't remember. kingdom, phylum, order, class, family, genus, species. Did I get that right? Can't put cat out for goodness sake. Cat for genus, species. I think family or class. Anyway, these three all belong to the same class. I'm calling them a class. Sometimes I might create, sometimes a box has a certain element that they all become the eyes. 2 O's in a row become eyes or whatever. And I have many fish that look like they're siblings. They're almost identical. Other times they end up looking like this, where their only similarity is the colors. So I'm having a fun time still with these making fish, and I make new rules for my fish, and I'm having fun. Prozac only does so much. Looking at the news makes me want to jump out my window. If I could get to my window to defenestrate myself, I might. But my windows, I have to move too many things, and I get tired and I take a nap. So defenestration is out. I could slit my wrists after looking at the news, but all of my razor blades are dull. So I could stick my head in the oven, but it's an electric oven, not a gas oven, so I just bake. I could set it to broil. Would that be better? Would you rather broil to death or bake to death? Write your answers below. Anyway, I'm still having fun with making fish. Playful, kind of meaningless, but it's okay. In the scheme of things, meaninglessness is right up there with meaningfulness. There's an asteroid with Earth's name on it coming towards us in the fullness of time, and it might as well hit today, as far as I'm concerned. But until that happens, I'm going to party, and maybe that's what you'll do as well. In my recycling, I found a box that had all sorts of interesting holes cut out of it. You know, there was a circular hole and a rectangular hole because it held this complicated thing that was being shipped. And I was saddened. I was a little shocked too. But I was saddened more than shocked to see that the thing once contained a firearm. Someone in this building in peaceful Sanctuary City, Somerville, bought a gun. And that really pisses me off. And they might have bought it for hunting. There's a picture of a deer on the box that shows what you're supposed to aim for. Poor deer. Poor deer. D-E-A-R and D-E-E-R, those homonymic. The poor deer. The deer, poor deer, is going to get a bullet between its little eyeballs. But I wonder whether people that buy guns have any intention of shooting a deer. Maybe they're buying it to shoot other people. Or maybe they're buying it to, quote, protect themselves against other people. Maybe people are buying guns to protect against other people that don't have a gun. Those heroic, brave couple in whatever gated community they lived in that would have been raped if they didn't have their gun. Well, neither one of them were attractive to me. I wouldn't have raped, even if they were attractive, I wouldn't have raped them. And I don't think that was on the minds of any of the people that were protesting. But these people were sure that their house was going to be burned to the ground and they were going to be raped. So they brought out their Uzi and their pistol and stood their ground. Well, good for them. Now, if you go aim the camera down the street to where these protesters were coming from, was there smoke coming from houses and screams of children and adults and grandmothers being pillaged and raped? Probably not. So these two people by their front door with their guns, did they actually fear this, or were they just being jerks? Get me started. So anyway, this box that I found here that held a gun that was shipped to one of my neighbors, who now I have to recalibrate my entire brain to include someone here that has a gun. I'm going to turn that box into something, and I think I'm going to turn it into a shark, a big white shark. It's a white box with black lettering, and the black lettering has the logo of the company. Made in America or not at all, or something like that. Like, guns can only be made in America. The Krupp Armament Company in Germany might have something to say about that. Let me just see what Miller, was it Miller? Here's part of the box. So there's all these holes. These are going to be the gills of the shark. Hunt with a Henry. Come on. Hunt with a Henry. And there's our hunter. Yeah, fuck yeah. He's wearing a very nice little bandana. Little scarf around his little neck. Made in America or not made at all. What the hell does that mean? That the Henry Company wouldn't be in business if they didn't be in America? I bet all of their profits are in offshore banks. Don't get me started. I'm on a soapbox. Write your answers below. Am I a jerk or what? Here's a little jerk. Here is a ... jerk, or insightful, full, and compassionate. Oh, snowflake. Am I a jerk or a snowflake? Write your answers below.